Good evening, everyone, including Diesel, and if you were at to ask Diesel, hello friends and fellow aviators. It's Michael with Nocturnal Simulations, and we are back in New Zealand once again. We'll be starting off in Wellington and heading up to Auckland. You may be able to hear it already, but it's very windy here. You can hear it howling and whipping around the aircraft. So this should be an interesting departure. The winds are straight out of the north, blasting already at 24 knots with gust up to 34. If you find joy and value in the stream or any of the previous content, please show your support by hitting the like button and dropping a comment below. It's super helpful for the channel. Plus, super chats are active, and we are truly grateful for any sort of donations you are moved to contribute. Right now, it's myself, Ghost, and Mr. T. Ferguson, or as Sean likes to call him, T. On the ground here. I believe Mike might be a couple minutes behind us. He, I think, just got on. But if you'd like to join this flight or any others, please feel free to join the Discord, which is linked below, and we can get you all set up. Now, let's hop back into the cockpit and get this thing started and see if we can avoid getting flipped over on departure.
Oh, sensitive.
Okay, I'm back. See, I did it again. I always go and hit the wrong dang camera button. Yes. 1 a.m. here, so going to bed. Just wanted to say hi and have a great time. Love from Norway. Thanks, Bullhar Shark. I appreciate you joining. Maybe you can stick around for the departure. It should be interesting. What's up, Silly Goose? How you doing tonight, buddy? Okay, so let's go ahead and shut this thing up so my ears can stop listening to this howling and whistling. It's getting a little old at this point. So get the back door shut. We're going to pretend there's people here. Loaded. Baggage doors. And front door. Alrighty. So I have not loaded the fuel yet, so we'll go through that process real quick. So what I'll do is over on Navigraph, we will pull up the OFP real quick. Let me go to flights. Oops, to bring it back up. Drag this down, and the one nice thing is SimBrief now has the OFP in there. It's not brand new, but it's been around for a little bit. So we'll check out our, we're expecting 5 passengers, 190 pounds of cargo, excuse me, and 1,200 pounds of fuel. Minimum takeoff for fuel is 1128. So let's drag this back over to our other screen. Come up here and do the weights. Move this to pounds so it's a little easier to read from the OFP. Black fuel is 1208. So we need a little over 600 pounds. That's about perfect. And then we had 5 passengers. Passengers and cargo. Is there a total number there? Should be at a total weight of 7104. So we'll just move this payload slider up to 7104. Perfect. All right, so fuel's loaded, passengers loaded, cargo's loaded. Pretty simple with this plane. Next up, let's go ahead and go over to our ground power unit. And they've actually fixed the GTN 750 with the latest update. I don't remember if I actually updated it or not for ground clearance, and I did. Perfect. So we can turn on ground clearance and we'll go ahead and get the airplane set up in terms of navigation. Yep, so flight plan, menu. We'll import it from SimBrief. May take a few seconds. Click OK to start. Analyzing import file. Waiting. There it goes. Loading.
You'll keep waiting.
And it should be a very straight departure and flight plan. So if we go back to our map, check that out. Should be pretty darn straight compared to a lot of the things that we usually do it. So, and it looks perfect. So let's zoom back in so we can see the ground here. Flight plan. I do not think it called for a departure, but let's just double check real quick. So go to You get rid. Oh, you got to hit the X button on Navigraph. Sorry. Just trying to figure out how to get out of the OFB view. All right, so it calls for upload 1P. So upload 1P RNAV departure. So we actually do have an RNAV departure. This one is pretty straightforward. We are taking off of runway 34. So let's take a look at the 34 initial climb. Track 340 to Kubi. Turn left to 322 to Upland. And then we have the RUSIL transition. So from Upland, turn right on a track of 341 to RUSIL. They don't appear to have any other restrictions. The initial climb. Flights on transition from Gullet. I'm not going to keep naming those. Those are kind of crazy words. Or above, maintain 10,000 to Atrim. Those are for oceanic transitions. So we don't actually have any sort of altitude restrictions. So we're just going to go straight towards our initial our top climb. Which today, I believe. Let's check the OFP again. Make sure it hasn't changed. It should have been 290 for our top of the climb. And winds 320, top climb 270, so that has changed by 2,000. Let's drop this back down. Can't participate in the flight tonight, watching the stream. Thanks, Ron. Appreciate you here. If you got any questions, let me know. So we're going to be going straight up to 270. We can go ahead and dial that into here. And with that, I believe we are ready to go. We'll go ahead and change our CDI to GPS since we are doing IFR flight tonight with a bunch of RNAV points. And I believe that we're ready to get this thing powered up and ready to go. So, look at our overheads here. Let's go ahead and get our gyros turned on. Generators remain. Nav light. Let's go ahead and get our strobe light on. Ignition to auto. Prop to full. And make sure I'm not missing anything. It has been a few days since I've flown this last. Aux booster pump to on. And fuel select the manual for startup. Look back to the overhead and ignition to on. Starter on. Looking for 15% NG. And we will move the fuel lever up. 15%. Fuel lever up. Check for a hot start. Max temperature 877, so we're good there. Let's watch for NG of 52%. It's Papa Ron. Note spectacular DAV today. Oh, no. All right, 52%. Let's go full. Let's check for hung start. Make sure NG continues to rise, which it appears to be doing just fine. Everything's happy. Yeah, if anyone who is watching was not a part of Thursday's flight, around the, I believe it was the 1 hour, 38 minute or so, there's a, Papa Ron's son actually linked me the time code in the video in a comment. If you guys go check that out, and you can watch Papa Ron's death spiral. It was pretty entertaining, and I just so happened to catch it at the right time. Okay. Ignition, we can go off. Or to auto, sorry, and starter to off. Let's go to main battery, and generator is on main. Sure, well, the lights are good. Get the bleed to auto. Aux BP to auto, and fuel select to auto. Get the air conditioning to on, and fan flow to auto. I should have declared a mayday, yeah. We were too busy laughing at your peril to even think about it. So we're going to be climbing up to 270, so let's make sure we get our pressurization set for that. We're going to push this up to 280 just to give us a little wiggle room. Autopilot to on. Radio's already on. And HSI Master 2 on. I believe that should take care of most of it. We'll go ahead and get the inertial separator on the ground here while we're waiting, along with pitot heat. I'm going to clear out that master caution. I'm not going to use the 530 today. We'd lose the 750 for whatever reason. We'll continue on the path we're at and take care of it from there. Weather is good in terms of visibility, so I'm not too worried about it. Alright, park brake initial separator on the annunciator. Nothing of concern there. And we're going to be going altitude, which I forgot that that's the way it does. Once you hit altitude, it resets the altitude here. And we are going to be climbing out at 1,700 feet per minute. Are hot starts possible in the TBM? Yes, ask Mike. He blew his engine up on his first start. Brand new, off the factory floor, blew it up. This does not have a FADEC like the TBM850 from MSFS has, as an example. So we're going to go back down to takeoff flaps. Trim is in the green. I like to hang around the bottom of the green there. That looks happy. Well, that's something I would do. I haven't done it yet. I had one that was kind of hot, but it did not exceed the maximum. It was a little over 1,000. I think you have 1,060 something, I think. Is that right, Mike? Do you remember?
1,060 what? Sorry, I zoned out.
For your ITT temp, the maximum temperature on start is like 1,067 or something like that. I don't remember.
Something like that.
There's that little...
I've never had it go over 800 or 850, except for that one time.
I've had a few in the 900s, and then I had that one that was a little over 1,000. It's like 1,005 or something, which doesn't classify as a hot start, but it is a little concerning, which I think all that was just me I either introduced fuel too early or too late. I don't remember. Not a TBM master by any means. So double check our fuel quantity here. We have plenty of fuel. Fuel PSI is good. Aux BP is an auto. Fuel select is an auto. And temperature inside the cockpit is 71 degrees, so we are nice and comfortable. Mike, don't know if you heard, but the winds are 2-4, gusting 34, so it's going to be interesting.
Can we try to fly this backwards again?
It would make for an interesting landing. As far as taxiing from here, I think we need to cross the runway and take Alpha down to the hold short point on 3-4. But I believe I am ready to go. Let's go ahead and get our taxi lights on. Everything looks happy. Let me know if you guys are not ready. Get our nav on our autopilot so we get our flight director.
I'm ready to roll.
Alright, let me get track IR on, reset the view, and let's confirm our controls are good and happy. I haven't flown this in a little while, so all that's good. I'm ready to go when you are. Cameron, you good? See, you're muted there.
Flap your ailerons.
Yeah.
Once for yes, twice for no.
Alright, got no response, so we're just gonna assume he's ready and go ahead and head out. Parking brake off. Confirm inertial separator is on. And I'm going to pretend our homie here is not on the ground and scoot out in front of you guys. I forgot how invasive this cockpit is to your viewing outside their view outside the airplane. Thank goodness for track IR.
Alright, sorry about that. I was on the phone, but yes, I am ready.
Okay. Actually, it looks like we may have been able to take that taxiway over there. It just looked like more of like a car path than a taxiway
I think we have
on the
to
chart.
cross the runway and
Alpha.
take the taxi on the other side.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Alright, see nothing on the left. And I can't imagine anyone be landing the other direction, but we'll go ahead and just double check. See nobody on approach. And nobody on departure. We got somebody way up there, but... Look at this, I'm not touching anything. You can see how much is blowing my airplane around.
Whoa!
That rudder acts as a big wind vane whenever you're on the ground. It's interesting. I've just moved my throttle up and it's in that beta zone. And it's interesting how low the prop RPM gets. It's really quiet.
Really don't need much with this.
The tailwind's just gonna push us.
It keeps pushing me to the left.
Yeah, I got a little bit of left rudder in right now, just gonna hold it on the line. Alright, let's confirm takeoff flaps. Prop and mixture are up, forward, or I think I should say fuel conditioning. Nav, altitude, and flight director going to 270 at 1700 feet per minute. And navigation with CDI on GPS. That was a whole lot of acronyms. Seeing nobody on approach, we're gonna go ahead and take the runway. Landing lights on. I imagine we're going to shoot off the ground here. Alright, let's get out of beta mode, push the throttle forward a little bit more. And about 50% or so. Engine stabilized, let's go full throttle.
Yeah, there's that windsock. It's standing straight.
Yeah. GPS message will clear that out. Everything's in the green, nothing of concern to see. 100 knots. Slight bit of back pressure, shot straight off the runway. Positive rate, gear up. Oh, I'm feeling that turbulence now. Look at that.
Yeah, that's.
Look at that airspeed needle. The airspeed needle's bouncing all over the place. You can see the waves down there too. They're just rocking right now. Today would be a good surf day. You know, the one thing I did not do was set my altimeter. Whoops. Now we're 1,000 feet above the ground. Let's go flaps up. This is a cool departure. Check this mountain out. Or a hill. This is more of a hill around here. All these houses on it. At least we didn't get flipped over on departure. Let's go ahead and check our altimeter here real quick. 1012, 1013 is what we show, so we were pretty much there, just slightly off. This area is actually modeled pretty well. I've got quite a bit of rod aileron into this thing right now. Yeah, the wind is nuts. I've got a little indication on my stream deck here, which is pretty much showing you the same values you see right here. You can see that wind bouncing around on the GPS. Alright, we're coming up on Upland, so let's go ahead and do our left turn. I'm sorry, Upland is our next one. Kubi. And let's get the inertial separator off. Let's pull that throttle back until we see that torque drop just a hair. There it is, and let's go 850 mode. Still hand flying, but we'll do that and multitask with a little bit of increase power on 850 mode here. And watch that torque, we'll get it about 120. As soon as you guys are off to a good start, enjoy the flight. I'm off the bed. Alright, Pull Haul Shark, have a good night. Appreciate you joining while you did. The wind should be better for us on our arrival. Slowly inching that throttle up, trying to get it to 120. Don't want to get too aggressive with it, otherwise you could end up shooting past that 121 and cause some engine damage, potentially an engine failure. Oh, we need to fly out of here more often, guys. This is a beautiful departure. We could do an Wellington to Australia or something.
Goodness gracious. I was having a whole bunch of frame issues and it almost put me into a mountain.
That's never good.
I went over to 850 mode before you did, so I nudged ahead of you a little bit.
Oh.
I'll goof something up and fall behind though. So.
Yeah, I'm not quite to my 120 yet. Let's put a little right aileron trim into this thing because I'm getting kind of tired of holding it. Oh, there's Mike right above me.
Yeah, I got no response to any controls. That's
You-
not good.
You don't have a response to any of your controls?
No. I just keep, every time I let go with autopilot on, it keeps forcing it into the ground.
Huh. Alright, I'm gonna go to autopilot and let's take some screenshots. Get that thing all wiggling around. Oh, it's up. The controls are inverted. Oh, darn. I missed the screenshot I really wanted because they tilted the camera too far and everything was inverted.
Well, I hit the ground.
Oh.
Didn't even get to the first waypoint. Between the winds and everything, it just kept pushing me down. I was like still trying to pull up and just did not want to go up.
Ah, that sucks.
On that note, I'm just gonna go and make them.
Alright, buddy. Have a good night.
You as well.
Yeah.
Okay, bye. Enjoy the stream, everyone.
Alright, coming up on 10,000 feet, so we'll go ahead and turn our landing and taxi lights off. Taxi lights automatically go off whenever the gear comes up. Make some pretty good progress though, 182 knots ground speed. I'm hopeful that the winds calm down a little bit on us a little earlier than later into the flight. Our winds at our destination are much calmer, 12 knots. So it should be a bit nicer. Going at our weather radar on. Doesn't seem to be any major weather between here and there, so it's not a huge deal, but may see something pop up occasionally. First little chunk of this is going to be over the water with the mainland just off to our right. We haven't actually flown on the, we'll call it the North Island. I don't know if that's what the locals would call it. Silly Goose might be able to tell me. But
I think that's correct.
the North Island, we haven't flown too much on the North Island, so a lot of this area is going to be new for me. You can see that big mountain. Looks, I think it's a volcano, possibly. Forget what it's called. Let's see here. Inglewood, Norfolk? Or no, that's the area next to it. What is this? East Egmont? Egmont? What is the name of that mountain? Mount Taranaki. That is Mount Taranaki over there. That mountain did actually make it into one of my videos at one point. But it was more of a dive bomb down with the C-152. Oh, there we go. Starting to pass Mike again.
Yeah.
It's a race now.
I let off a little bit. I thought it'd be more fun this way. So once you lose ground speed on the climb, or airspeed on the climb in this, it is very hard to get it back.
Yes, it is.
You gotta nose over.
Speaking of, I'm actually going to drop mine down to 1,400 feet per minute. Now you say that. Especially once you get above 18,000 feet or so, it really starts to hurt. Once you lose that maximum power.
Yeah.
These clouds are looking good today, though.
I backed off too much.
Now you're really going to struggle.
Yeah. Just trying to get close together. We'll get there.
There's a little bit of the South Island jutting out into the sea. I believe it's around Nelson or Blenheim, looks like. Auckland is in the Manukau Harbor? Manukau? Something like that? Manukau? It's interesting that a lot of these names almost sound like Native American.
Yeah.
On the complete opposite side of the world. Sorry, but the way you said Blenheim was funny. Oh, what is the proper way to say Blenheim? I got a touch of redneck in there too, so it probably butchers it even more. More like Blenheim. Okay. That makes sense. For my part of the world, it had been Blenheim. Blenheim. There we go. That daggone place over there in Blenheim. What do I know? I'm just a redneck with a few brain cells. A few extra.
You more than most of the neighborhood?
No, I got more than most of the holler.
I got more teeth too.
I got all my teeth, so I'm doing good there too. Okay, silly goose. How do I pronounce the harbor we're going to? Manukau. 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 So I'm sure I'm really butchering that one.
Is that the harbor that Auckland's in?
Yes,
Oh.
the South Harbor of Auckland there, and then you got the Hauraki Gulf off to the northeast. Silly Goose, where was the Lord of the Rings filmed? Was that on the South Island mainly? It's definitely a beautiful country. I'm a little jealous. Kind of flat and boring when I live. Now, I did grow up in some mountains. Alright, we are up to 20,500. It was on the North Island. Oh, okay.
Well, you can see the big mountain now at like 11 o'clock.
Yeah, Mount
Right,
Taranaki.
Is that what that is?
Yep.
It does look like a volcano, very cone-shaped.
I'm
Mount Doom.
going Mount Doom.
That's what I'm going to call it.
Mount
It's easier
Doom.
to pronounce.
Taranaki is kind of a fun word. It's kind of like teriyaki, which is kind of making me hungry now I think about it.
Are we just insulting a whole continent of people? Or
I don't know.
country of people?
If it's insulting, I would hope that they're finding more amusement in the fact that I'm doing a terrible job pronouncing things than anything. All right, gonna drop down to 1,000 feet per minute. My airspeed. See, I can't even speak right. Airspeed. My airspeed's dropping down to 140. And we need to go to standard on the altimeter, which really wasn't much of a change. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our flight plan here. 109 miles left, it looks like. Shouldn't be too much longer. Ground speed to 187. And let's increase that torque a little bit. Almost increased it too much. See what I did there was I increased it too fast and almost exceeded the torque limit. Same thing I warned you guys not to do. My circles for my range circles are dancing all over the place, despite the wind staying pretty steady at 30 knots, which is interesting. Top of climb is coming up soon, just a little bit past RUSIL. And once we hit cruise, we'll bring the RPM back down to 1900 just to kind of cut some of that noise down. It's a really loud airplane to be inside. Cabin pressure's up to 5,000 feet. Oh, I'm sorry, it's at 5 psi at 8,000 feet. You know, the one thing I did not do, Mike, was turn the oxygen on. Trying to make everybody take a nap in the back. That's why they're so quiet. I forgot to turn the oxygen on. You're flying from Florida. Nope, we are in New Zealand. Those kind of look like it when you the way it was zoomed in on the map there. Just a tad. Kind of off the panhandle would have been off to the left there. We're in North Island, New Zealand, flying from Wellington to Auckland. You missed a pretty fun departure with a lot of scenery. They definitely do not have mountains like this down in Florida. I'll just hit a random key on my keyboard. Hopefully nothing bad happens. Alright, so yes, I misread the gauge a minute ago. We are at 5 1/3 pounds at 8,000 feet. Got it set to go to 28,000 feet on the cabin altitude, so we should be okay. I'm flying from the South Pole. Oh. See, I should not have talked in a little bit of redneck accent there. Now I'm having a hard time speaking correctly. Flying from the South Pole to Dothan, Alabama. That is quite a flight. Currently have 3,574 miles to go. How long have you been in the air? And what are you flying in? 330? 747? 787? If you want to see good mountains, go to the North Island. Really? I've done a lot of my flying in the South Island and absolutely love the mountains there. Looking at Navigraph here, are you talking about going kind of through this section right here? Are these the mountains you're talking about, Silly Goose? Oh, you meant south. Yes, yes. Okay. Yeah, we, if you take a look at that Thursday stream, which you may have already done, we were down in this area. Let me get my bearings. Took off from Milford Sound, went out to the coast, Martins Bay, and then came back to Queenstown. This is my favorite area to fly in right here, especially going to Quentin's Lodge. The F-22 Raptor. Does it have the fuel to go that far? Or are you having to refuel midair? Alright, we are at cruise speed, or altitude, sorry. And I have got the throttle maxed at this point, but we are going to pull back the prop to 1900 nice and slowly just to cool some of that noise down. You don't really lose a ton of performance by doing this either. Alright, 1900, much quieter. Got a ground speed of 211 knots with a quartering headwind of 30 knots, so probably really receiving about 15 or so.
Uh-oh.
What's up?
Oh no.
Do what? Uh-oh. Is Mike about to smack into me or something?
I jumped out of autopilot really fast.
Mike's trying to have a midair with me over here. Tekapo is quite a nice place to fly. Where's that at? I'll have to look. It does with the right setting, LOL. Unlimited fuel, gotcha. Tekapo. Is it pronounced Tekapo? I guess should be my first question. And while Mike avoids trying to run into us real quick, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick. Apparently I'm very well hydrated today. You're back. Okay, I'm back. Tech Apo? Tech Apo or Tech Apo? Tech Apo. Take a poo. Oh, I'm about to run into Mike now. I'm creeping up on you, Mike. About to be in your cockpit. Meow. Tekapo. I'm failing miserably. I apologize. Alright, we should probably start looking at our arrival. Let's go to our flight plan. Oh, sorry, procedures. We do not have an arrival for here. I don't, well, maybe. Actually, they have a ton.
There's like 300.
Yeah,
arrivals, and
OPABI.
they all come from the north. None make sense. So I'm just doing the approach to me makes sense.
Yeah, none of these arrivals are what we have on our flight plans. So we're going to do an approach for 23 left. Tekapo, okay. Trying to find a group to fly with. Here you go. You found it. We have anywhere between myself to 15 other people that will fly with us on each and every Sunday and Thursday. So check out the Discord link below, Michael, and we can get you all set up. It's pretty simple. Especially if you are on the East Coast, or at least within a few hours of the East Coast time for the United States. Alright, we're doing 2-3 left. Is it all R knives?
There's an ILS, and there's one that I like the look of. If I may make a suggestion.
Go ahead.
And it's actually the one that GTN suggested. So ILS 2-3 left with the D165M Delta 165 mic transition. It's like a
yeah, that'll work perfectly.
It's an arc. What do you call it? It's like a DME arc.
Yep. Let's take a look at that chart real quick. Got a buddy stationed in Korea you usually fly with, and thanks, you live in Alabama, so we're good. Perfect.
Oh no, another Michael.
Yeah, it's just gonna just
oh, God.
And yeah. Welcome to the Thunderdome. Hey, you'll fit right in. Yeah, just check out that Discord, and if that link for some reason doesn't work, let me know, and we'll get you sorted out. Okay, so D165, let's take a look at the... You said it was a DME arc. It did not show up like that on my GTN. That's what the chart shows.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that on the GTN, but in Navigraph it does.
Okay. Charts. Looking for approach. 2 left, ILS with the DME. I'm going to pin that one in. So yeah, technically we should be doing a 13-mile DME. Yep, no problem, Michael. It's a really good group of people here, and we do random flights throughout the week too, so it's not just Sundays and Thursdays. And a lot of us fly for the same virtual airline too, if you're interested in anything commercial. So I don't know how to fly a DME arc with the GTN 750.
Well, it will.
Oh, it put it in there for us. Okay. Oh, it put our nav points in there. Perfect.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking would do.
Okay. Yeah, we ran into the same thing down in Mexico. Went to Cancun.
Alright. Forgot about that.
Alright, so where is our top of descent located? Okay, this... It has us a D165 at 27,000 feet. Nope. We are not going to do that. We're going to fly the DME arc at 3,000 feet. How about that? So let's go ahead and change our...
right after 3,000.
Yeah, let's go ahead and change our D165 mic to 3,000 feet. The way to do that is to go to your flight plan, scroll down to that waypoint, And it is not letting me edit it.
Oh, it doesn't let you edit the approaches, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We are from that waypoint. Let's go do our flight plan. Is this 96.4 miles to D165 Mike? Let's see if this updates. It does not appear to be changing.
I'm noticing you're way off to my right-hand side, and I am flying a very how do I say this? Flying west into my northbound nav track in GPS mode. Something went, I think, haywire for both of us.
You're doing what now? Can you stream for me? In Discord?
Yeah. Check this out.
That didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I knew it wouldn't. That's why I said, how do I say this? I don't even know how to say it. It came out all right.
Can we do, while you're pulling that up, is there, I wonder if there's a way to do radius circles around a waypoint like we did in, you know, like the Airbus or the Boeing. I don't know if there's a way to do that. Like a fix information.
There has to be
Waypoint info.
So what I was trying to say is, if I look out the window or outside view, you're way off to my right. But look here at my GTN 750. I'm above the nav track, but flying
Crooked.
at a 45-degree angle to it. I am.
Check your GPS on your HSI. What's it showing?
Sorry. It's in GPS.
Your direct track is way out of whack.
But
Do you have a failure of some sort?
I will figure that out. Don't let that hold you back.
I'm curious why it's so wrong. I just purchased the Thrustmaster Boeing yoke package and it's great. I assume you'd like to fly the PNBG 737 then, if that's the case. I have not tried that hardware before, but I did have the Airbus TCA pack from Thrustmaster and recently sold that, and I really enjoyed that. But I have a Virpil joystick now, and I use the Honeycomb Bravo for the throttle. I do have the Thrustmaster, oh, what are they called? The really nice pedals, with the articulated lever and everything on the back, the metal ones. Those are super nice. Alright, so this arc right here is showing 75 nautical miles, so we may want to start descending shortly. This thing will descend pretty quickly, so not too concerned, but if we were to go down to 3,000 feet from where we're at, we need about 75 miles. And that's just an approximation. I can definitely recommend the Airbus TCA. Yes, diesel. I love that thing, and as much as I'm sure you're loving it right now too. There is a video, and Diesel, this might be good for you too. I've already done it to what I sent you. I do have a video on my channel for how to clean the rudder potentiometer. Basically the twist axis on the joystick. It does, for some reason, get a little out of whack over time. But a lot of people had success with that video, and it's really easy to do. I do not know of a way to add a fix to a waypoint with the 750. If anybody knows how to do that, please let me know. And you can learn me something today. Utilities, we can do our VCalc, and what we'll do here, instead of having our fixed radius, is we'll target the waypoint of Delta 165 Mike, and what we'll do is target the altitude of 3,000 feet, and that'll give us our vertical speed. So once this gets to 2,000 vertical feet per minute, that's when we'll want to start descending. So that's kind of the other workaround for that, and of course I've got that up at the top right corner here. So once this gets to about negative 2,000 feet per minute, that's when we'll start our descent. I like the honeycomb, but I'm about to deploy to Africa in about 3 months. Well, good luck to you in Africa. Appreciate your service. So I may order one for the deployment, so I have something to do on the off time. Yeah, that'd be a really good time killer. I'm sure there is quite a bit of boredom involved with that too. Don't really use it, but I'll definitely watch it. Yeah, I use the twist axis for while I'm on the ground to steer with. So you kind of simulate having a tiller in commercial. Oh, sorry, let me stop watching Mike's stream there. I'm getting a little... well, as soon as he went to the outside of his aircraft, I was getting the feedback.
Right.
No, it's not your fault. I was still watching.
Let me turn my speakers down. Sorry about that.
No, it's not your speakers.
Mount Doom out there.
Oh, yeah. Mount Doom. It was not your speakers. It was me watching your stream. I saw it pulled up. I don't know if this is a feature of the... I don't know if this is accurate or just part of the sim here, but there's a very defined circle around Mount Doom here. I don't know if that's... And Silly Goose might be able to answer that, but is that a national park that's creating that, or is that just something in the sim? Go ahead and take a look. We are well past our halfway point here, I believe. Plenty of fuel. Everything's in the green and happy. Nothing of concern here. Look at... It is a national park. Is it actually that well defined of a circle? That's pretty impressive. It looks like, I guess, farmland is butting up against it. I've got the Thrustmaster throttle combo. Works really good, but I can't fine-tune a throttle. Is that the Boeing throttle? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, the Honeycomb Bravo is really good for fine-tuning, especially in a plane like the TBM here, where you're trying not to bust through your torque limitations on N850 mode. It's native bush. Oh, okay.
Alright, how do we translate that? Oh, that helps. Planted.
Planted. So they plopped what, a 10, 15, 20 mile radius around that and planted a bunch of native bush, I guess. And is that a volcano? The mountain? Yeah. I mentioned to Mike it was Mount Taranaki, and he nicknamed it Mount Doom for today. It looks like a volcano to both of us. No, the actual stick with the throttle. Actual stick with the... Oh, okay. I gotcha. The little slider throttle. It's probably the same if... It's pretty much the same, if I'm thinking of what you have, the same joystick as it's in the TCA pack, just they kind of changed colors and a little bit of the molding on it. And of course the Airbus handle for the joystick. Alright, so we are coming up on negative 1,000 feet per minute here shortly, so we are getting close to our top of descent. Unfortunately, since we can't edit that waypoint, we don't have a top of descent indicator on our flight path here. It's a stratovolcano. What's a stratovolcano? What's a stratovolcano? You know, Mike? My geology is not the best.
Look that up.
Going to Dr. Google.
Relatively steep sides and are more cone-shaped than shield volcanoes.
Oh, okay.
They're formed from viscous, sticky lava that does not flow easily.
Which explains its shape there. I still think that's really cool how they've got that radius of planted native bush.
Alright, he said what it's really called. I'm gonna look that up on Google Maps.
Mount Taranaki. We could have nicknamed it Mount Teriyaki instead of Mount Doom. Volcanic landform characterized by conical shape formed by layers of volcanic material. Can I show a picture? You cannot show a picture in the stream, but if you want to show it in the Discord, you can. They don't have that feature. Otherwise, I imagine a lot of interesting pictures would pop up in people's streams all the time. Now, if you want to tell me what to Google, I can pull it up real quick.
The satellite view in so that circle looks to I think it's what he said, like they did a radius around and the vegetation must be different.
Yeah, it's really, really neat.
Man, it's like the photos, this thing's beautiful in real life.
Questions and answers. When is Mount Taranaki most likely to erupt? It's erupting now. Dang, you missed it. What? Oh, that is very pretty. That's pretty cool. And here you can see the circle of the native grass, native bush. What is this? That's a video of something. Oh, here's somebody flying in an airliner over it. Get you some mallards with the mountain in the background. Looks like somebody's climbing it here one winter. Well, it may not be winter. It's probably pretty high in elevation. Oh, is there a road you can take up to it? Or is this just to a certain point? Oh, there's like a walk path up to it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the airliner photo you talked about, that's a real photograph and it shows a ring of native bush, I guess?
Yep.
Around it?
That's pretty neat.
That is beautiful, man.
Mount Cook is also really nice. Mount Cook. Mount Cook, Canterbury, New Zealand. Let's check that out. That is on the South Island. We've probably flown over it before. Actually, you know what? I think we actually called it out in stream a while back.
I think New Zealanders are generally friendly towards Americans.
Is that right, Silly Goose? Do you like us?
What I've seen on YouTube.
Oh, that's beautiful right there.
I want to go live there.
I would love to live in New Zealand.
As long as they're not mean to me and tell me to go back home.
Just don't tell them where you're from. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm very jealous of people who get to live there. Yes, Silly Goose says yes. So I think you're okay, Mike. Silly Goose, when I decide to go to New Zealand, I will have to have you tell me where to go. Having that local input's always the best. Okay, let's see here. 1,200 feet per minute. Getting close. Getting close. Looks like we might have a little bit of a cloud layer up there. Let's go ahead and check the weather for Auckland. Weather is winds are 240 at 10 knots. That's a lot nicer than what we had. And then you got clouds, a few clouds at 3,800 feet, and a ceiling of 12,000 feet above ground level. Temperature is 19 degrees Celsius, and altimeter is 1019. South Island Tekapo is a very good tourist location. I can see that. Imagine. I would imagine a lot of the things that attract people to New Zealand or the pictures from that area. I really love the Queenstown area when I fly there in the sim. I'm on YouTube on my phone because I'm flying on the PC, so I'm having an issue finding the Discord. Alright, Michael, let me link that in the Discord. I think it might come through. You can see the stars really well there. Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's one thing that kills me about being around large cities. You get that light pollution and it just ruins the stargazing. And if you've ever, Mike, I imagine you, with all your hiking experience, have been in areas that just you can see the galaxy extremely well.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to beat.
Not where I live.
I don't have to go too far from where I currently live, but yeah, I still can't go outside right now and look at the galaxy very well.
Amazing where I live. I live near 3 small ski resorts, and in the wintertime, at night, talk about light pollution, the lights from night skiing bouncing up in the sky, just like it lights up the whole night sky.
Oh yeah.
The 3 places, yeah, it's crazy.
Alright, I'm going to post the link to the Discord and the chat here, if it'll allow me. Okay, cool, it did. That link, Michael, should give you, take you straight to the Discord. And Discord does have a phone app too. It's nice and chilly up here, negative 34 degrees Celsius. Fahrenheit, sorry. Which is 37 Celsius. Alright, so I am working on a top 5 mod video, and I have a few mods in mind for the video. What's everyone's favorite mods that they would like to see talked about on a video? What do you have, Mike?
I bet you already have Rex AccuSeason on there now.
Yep, I've got that on there, on that list already. I won't give too many details away, but
I gotta think about. I haven't added any mods in so long that the ones I've got I've kind of forgotten. Just take them for granted.
yeah, you take a lot of them for granted. And I've talked about quite a few of them in the past.
Glance at my community folders, see what's here these days.
Don't get too distracted. We are coming up on our top of the sound. Yep, Michael, if that doesn't work, let me know. We'll get you sorted out. Should work though. It's set up as a permanent link.
I like to add nameplate screen mod.
Yep.
It's a tiny little thing, but I like it.
And the mod that Mike is talking about is if I turn my nameplates on real quick. Changes it from the default to more minimalistic. and the font they use is kind of ATC styled. It's cool hearing those props cut through the wind. You're in. Sweet. Awesome. There we go. Yeah, you could, if you want to post a picture in the pilot's lounge, I can drag it down here. We can take a look at it.
Anybody on the YouTube stream?
What was that?
Yeah, hopefully somebody on the folks on the YouTube stream throw in some mods they like.
Yeah, the question was out to everybody. If you have a mod that you want to suggest to me, especially, because I am bad about not trying too many mods out. I try to keep my community folder kind of to a minimum, just to prevent issues, because we all know how too many mods can be very buggy. Mike, I am at closing in on 1900 feet per minute on my vertical descent here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and move my dial down to 3,000 feet. And get ready to start that descent.
I'm just a little bit behind it.
So I actually need to do a Q3 mod video. Kind of forgot about it. And then well, very quickly I'll have to turn around and do a Q4. Alright, coming up on 2,000 feet per minute, so let's go ahead and start descending.
I know I have the We Love VFR, but also I can't find it. I do really like the, what is it, like towers and smokestacks? What was that mod called? I'm trying to find it in my stuff.
I think that's part of...
Power lines, solar farms.
Yeah, power lines and solar fields.
That's it.
Alright, so while we are descending, we do not want to be in 850 mode. Because it's very easy to get distracted and start over-torquing your engine. So you lose that performance, but you are descending, so it's not that big a deal. We can see our arc here is about where it needs to be. So our vertical speed required is up to close to 2200. So let's go ahead and bump that down, or bump that up or down to 2200 feet per minute. Just to kind of keep us on track there, so you can see that arc is right at that waypoint, so that's perfect. Mad Dog 9383 on the Discord. Yes, got you there. Just said hello to you in the introductions. Got a couple people who have joined the group flight here. It's not showing me your whole names. Got the streamer mode enabled, so it kind of blocks people's names out sometimes.
Happy and Mad Dog have joined on.
Oh, okay. What's up, Cap?
Hello, fellas. How are y'all?
Good. How about you?
All right. So I switched my phone to my computer. I got pulled up. It's a pretty cool flight, which y'all are doing right now. I'm currently in the middle of the freaking ocean right now.
You in your Raptor?
Your legs must be getting cramped in there.
Yeah.
I hope you got a big diaper.
Yeah. My cousin says, "Hey, why don't you fly from South Pole to Alabama?" I said, "Shit, let's do it." So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
He's done bugged out. So I'm by myself. I'm like, all right, I'm still cruising along, right? So it is what it is. I'm trying to get the flight hours up in the game now. This is an awesome game. So what I was saying was, I have a actual stick yoke thrustmaster that I use. I swap out with the Boeing yoke. It's kind of expensive, right? I paid a lot of money for it, but it has a throttle quadrant on it. I'm sure you've seen it up and down, everything else in it. But pretty smooth. I like it. But I also looked at the honeycomb, and I thought of buying one of those as well, and just kind of going back and forth between the two or three of them, right? But I actually had the Thrustmaster yoke, you know, when I want to fly, you know, I'm flying a jet now, of course, but I'm using an actual yoke system instead of a joystick. But I've got about 2 of them that I go back and forth in between that work out. But with the joystick Thrustmaster, I can't seem to put I can't seem to fine tune the throttle up and down on it. Right, it's either max power or nothing at all. Right?
Oh, okay. So it sounds like it's a binding issue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we can, after the stream is done here in a minute, we can take a look at that if you'd like.
Yeah, that's cool. Be cool because I mean it's a great joystick. I've had it for like, I don't know, 5 years now, and it has everything you need on it. You know, they have newer models, of course, but it's the same one. If you look up the Thrustmaster, I think it's like the G model Thrustmaster, I believe, but G maybe G's, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's just,
All right, guys, down to 18,000 feet. So altimeter is 1019. And that changed our top of descent, which isn't a huge deal. We're just gonna leave it at the rate we're going right now. We are cruising close to our red line on the speed here, so we may have to pull the power back to here in a moment. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. We were a little over torqued, just a hair.
oh yeah. I noticed you pulled up that map earlier.
Navigraph?
Yeah. Well, what app is that? Because I don't have that one.
That is Navigraph. It is a paid subscription. It is very good for commercial flying with the charts and all that stuff. It's got a lot of useful tools, weather. You can pull in pretty much any airport in the world and have accurate charts. It's about, if you pay for it all at once, it's about $9 a month or so, US dollars.
Not too bad. It's called Navimap, right?
Navigraph.
Navigraph. Okay, Navigraph.
Yep. Cheers from Brazil. Couldn't make it to fly with you guys due to work, but this flight looks awesome. I'll watch the full episode later today. Thanks, Daniel. Yes, it's been the departure was beautiful and interesting because the winds were very extreme. We had winds straight out of the north at 2.4 and gusting up to 3.4, so a little bumpy, but the departure was actually very beautiful. All right, Mike, I'm down to 14,500 feet. And Mad Dog, if you go to your, I might be able to talk you through this. I don't want to escape and pull up the menu, but if you go to your controls options and click on the joystick with the throttle slider, and then go to the power management settings, what you'll probably see is it turning on and off as like a switch instead of a analog dial kind of thing.
Yeah, right now I have this Thrustmaster yoke, Boeing yoke throttle quadrant that I bought. I mean, I want you know how much it is. You look it up, but that's what I'm using now because I couldn't figure out how to work the throttle without it. So I said, "What the hell? I'll just buy this. It looks pretty cool." So, but the honeycomb is actually really good. I've been watching that one too as well. Looking at that one as well.
Yeah, the honeycomb. I don't know if you have a 3D printer or will have access to a 3D printer, but it's there's a lot of things you can print to make it kind of add-ons and stuff. I'm in the process of designing something for the Airbus specifically, where we'll have switches and push buttons and a radio knob for tuning the radio for when we do VATSIM. It's always a pain in the butt thing with the Phoenix A320.
But you know what though? If you don't have a printer, 3D printer, or access to one, they're pretty affordable. You can buy stuff that people are selling on Etsy and places like that they're printing out those same things.
Well, on the counter argument to that too is by the time you bought everything, you could have bought a 3D printer.
Yep.
So
I just bought my son one for his birthday, so we got one sitting here on the table over here, so we're good to go with that. How do you, like, of course you got to buy all the, I mean, you can print it out, but how do you
design it?
How do you hook it up?
Oh, okay. So there is a company called Moby Flight, and I actually met the owner when I was at the Flight Sim Expo in Houston this year, and I talked to him. He is out of Europe. I don't remember exactly where from, but somewhere in Europe. And 1 second, we just got below 10,000 feet. I'm at 250 knots. We want to make sure we keep it there, not exceed that speed. so we'll be constantly decreasing the throttle as we descend. But that uses Arduino boards, the Mega, was it 2560s, I think, and they it's really easy to do. And part of the I'm going to make a video series the entire time I'm creating this thing. The one thing I won't necessarily go too much into is using Fusion 360 to do all the 3D modeling. I am not the best Fusion user, but if you take a look back a few weeks ago at my 737 live stream, I actually set up a webcam. I have a fully 3D printed MCP. It was designed by somebody else, but I had to print it and build it and wire it all up myself. But it's amazing what you can do with a 3D printer. I spent about 6 weeks non-stop printing and wiring to get that thing working. That was before I had a YouTube channel, so I had a little bit more free time.
Right, exactly. And so what do you do for a living? If you don't mind asking, what do you do?
I'm an engineer.
Okay, well, sweet. I'm a commercial refrigeration technician. Is what I did. So.
Oh well, if you can do that, you can do all this. It's nothing super complicated. There's a lot of good resources out there, and if you have any questions, I can help you with it too.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you. Hey, listen, I've been looking. I saw y'all online, but I've never joined in. And I was like, you know what? Let me hit them up real quick because it's good to network out a little bit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I've met
know people, right?
Met a ton of really good people in this sim world. Met a lot of good friends.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, what I was saying earlier was I don't know if this is live or not. I hope it's not.
It is. Welcome to the YouTube live. What was that?
Where I'm going and everything, I'll talk to you about it on the off time then, and about the flight simulator. I'm trying to get my computer and a laptop. Actually, I don't want a laptop, but I can't just pick up my desktop and carry it with me across the world, right? So
absolutely.
So I'm looking into buying another laptop, but I want something, I don't want Alienware because it's so expensive, but at the same time, you can change parts, right? But I have a Dell, but it has it's got the i7, but it's got 32 gigs of RAM in it, but it also came with a 1660. But I think the video card is actually I took it apart 2 days ago. I think it's soldered in, so I can't change it. I don't think.
No, most laptops are what you get. You buy what you get. Yeah, there's not really a big market for upgrading those things.
Yeah, so I updated everything on it, all the graphic drivers, everything. So I tried to run the game, and I mean, it's like it just crashed and burned, dude.
Yeah, you got to spend a pretty penny on a laptop to be able to run MSFS beyond basic settings.
Yeah, I'm trying to buy something so I can have something, when I leave, right? So, so I can, I'll pay for internet while I'm over there, wherever I'm at, and just pretty much, I want to stay in tune,
Oh yeah, I definitely understand that. All right, Mike, I am on the DMA arc now, so I'm down to 3,000 feet.
I'm turning right behind you.
Perfect.
3,800 feet and on the turn.
All right, let's go ahead and get that ILS frequency. It is 109.9, so I'll show you guys where I'm getting that from. So if you pull up the ILS DME for localizer DME runway 23 left, it's the 109.9 right there on the chart. And you can see we are following this DME arc in. And we will do a left turn to 231 to join the localizer.
I'm going to set my heading bug to 231. You can't pre-select your course. I don't believe in this plane.
The course you can. Well, I don't know. It's not letting me do anything. What's that?
What are y'all flying?
We are in the Black Square TBM850.
Okay.
It's a wonderful add-on.
Oh, yeah. I love that map there. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, this is the GTN 750. The mod, so it comes with the basic one, or you can get the PMS 50 GTN 750. This is the premium edition. It's a little pricey, $75 for a lifetime subscription, but the amount that we use it and fly with it is worth every penny. You should try flying to November Zulu, November Victor. Oh boy, I'm going to butcher this. Invercargill to November Zulu Oscar Bravo to November Foxtrot Zulu Foxtrot Juliet Franz Joseph. So Amaru to Franz Joseph. Invercargill. Thanks, silly goose.
Hey, silly goose, if you can hear me, is that anywhere near? Where in the heck are we landing? Where are we going? I already forgot.
Auckland.
Is that anywhere near Auckland? Is this somewhere we could fly from here? I'm being lazy. I'm a little busy in the cockpit and don't want to go look at it.
It's on the South Island. November Zulu, November Victor.
Alright, so we'll just switch over to the F-22 Raptor and head there from here.
Be there in about 5 minutes. I was a little concerned about the initial 3,000 foot altitude, but the DMARC is keeping us safe. I'm gonna get banned from YouTube for mispronouncing things.
You could say a whole lot worse things.
Oh yeah. Our airport, it should be. There's another airport right next to us here, but I think it's on the coast, isn't it? Yeah, it's right on the coast there. Should be. Oh, there it is. I think. A little bumpy here, but I believe that is our airport right there.
I think so.
I bought the game about a month and a half ago, and in between work and all, I managed to run up about 200 flight hours, roughly. So not too terrible, I sit here. I've been here all day, making short little hops here and there. It's my family's like, how can you sit in front of the computer all day? I'm like, well, it's fun, right? You gotta enjoy what you're doing, right?
Yeah, it's people who sit here and think it's boring. It can be boring if you're just using the default planes and just kind of doing a point A to point B and just throwing it on autopilot. But when you get into more sophisticated planes like this one, or Phoenix A320 or PNVG 737, something like that, it gets a lot more enjoyable because it's not just flying the airplane. There's a lot more management and planning and stuff like that. What's going on, Sean? Maori is hard people not from New Zealand. Oh, so don't.
Maori is it's a language. Or, all these names.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's the native
tongue. Oh, Maori is hardcore people not from New Zealand. Gotcha. Yes, I'm from a place that would that names things like Stinky Creek. It's not the most challenging thing to pronounce. Maori with a rolled R. 3 hours into my long haul and my sim feels bogged down and sluggish. Have I cleared
I think it's
cache
pronounced.
and it still feels the same?
Oh, it's Maori. Maori.
I'm
sorry, I said Maori. It's Maori. Yeah.
Maori. Okay. All right. Well, I'm turning final here, Mike. So I'm going to start slowing. Let's go ahead and get our inertial separator turned on. Our landing lights are on. Let's go ahead and turn our taxi so we don't forget. And we are going to go 109.9er on this nav here. Let's turn approach mode on and change the CDI to VLOC. Master caution, that's from our inertial separator. No big deal there. And we're going to slow up to 180, which we are there. That way we can get our flaps one in.
I was going to ask you, what flaps do you use when you land this plane here?
Using what? Sorry?
What are your flaps set to?
They'll be at landing configuration. Right now they're up. Looking at the chart here, we'll want to be at takeoff flaps, or approach flaps in our case, at MRAG, which we are pretty much at here, so we'll go ahead and dump those here in a second. And then before top of descent, at top of descent, we will lower the gear and go to landing flaps. So we 170 knots, so we're go ahead and drop our flaps to takeoff. Probably need to add a little bit of power. GPS message. Alright, we should see, in approach mode, should capture the top of the glide slope here.
So you went to approach mode and also change your CDI to localizer?
Yes.
Thank you.
So I went to approach mode while still in GPS, and then change it to the CDI. Alright, glide slope is captured. Let's go ahead and pull the power, drop the gear. And we want to get our landing flaps down. More like mow, as in mowing grass, so Maury. Is that right? Maury? Or Maury? Maury. Oh, okay. Maury. Alright, altimeter's 1019 and confirmed with our weather from Navigraph. Inertial separator set. Landing lights, taxi lights. All good. Annunciator panel shows inertial separator, which is what we want to see, and let's get her down to 120 knots and we'll go full flaps.
Once you're in localizer, you can switch your course, change your course. No.
Oh, okay.
231. 231 is what we want.
If you actually click on your little course knob, it'll automatically spin it around.
Alright, try that. Hey! Thank you. I didn't know that worked in this plane.
Yep. Alright, let's go landing flaps, add a touch of power, and we're looking for about 100 knots on approach speed here. Once we get stabilized, we'll go we'll turn autopilot off and get her on the ground. Alright, showing 3 green, let's go ahead and check. Checked. And I can't think of anything else I might be forgetting. Ignitions to auto, so that's good. Inertial separator and landing gear and flaps are about the biggest thing.
If y'all had a longer flight, I'd go ahead and just enter y'all's flight. Come on in with you.
Oh, yeah. No problem. Yeah, these group flights are pretty relaxed, so if you want to join Midway, we can get you an airport that's near us. Sundays are more commercial, more IFR style. It's more strict to the flight plan, and then Thursdays we kind of bounce around and do whatever we please. It's a lot of fun.
I just purchased the 777, and actually an awesome machine. I love flying the aircraft. I'll get altitude, and sometimes I'll set it, and do my thing. Come on back, and basically land it right. I'm learning how to set up everything on that aircraft right now. Watching tutorial videos, of course. I'm not a pilot, of course, by no means, but I've learned a lot about the aircraft by just flying the simulator around in different aircrafts, over the past, I don't know, a couple months now.
Yeah, you hang around this group long enough, you'll get pretty good at stuff. And we like to do, as flying simple things gets a little boring, so we like to make it a little challenging sometimes.
Exactly. So you go to Lukla, right, where Mount Everest is, and I love flying that flight from below the plateau and flying into the valley and back in. And my challenge to me is whichever aircraft I use. Of course, you can't fly a 777, into Lukla. You gotta use a turboprop plane. But I love practicing coming on in, and actually adjusting everything and getting it set just right, and landing before you run out of runway, right? Because it's a short runway, so it's really exciting. I go around Mount Everest and turn around, and come back and land. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I think the most fun that we've had is probably our bush flying, where everybody's wrecking left and right. It's always entertaining. Alright, so I am about 750 feet off the ground. We're stabilized. Let's go ahead and take autopilot off. And Diesel says, by hanging around this group, I've somehow learned to fly an Airbus.
Same as me, Diesel. I said 5 months ago, I said, I'd never fly one of those airliners. That sounds boring. And here we are. You guys will get to do all kinds of stuff.
Yes, exactly. My brother's a big gamer up in Seattle, Washington, and he's like, he'll watch me. I get live, he watch me, He's like, all right, dude, come on, dude, get the game, dude. I mean, buy you a yoke or a throttle, you know, or something. Buy you something, a stick or something. I said, to get the game. He's like, man, I don't know how you sit in front of that game. I said, well, I don't always sit in front of it 100% of the time, you know. Sometimes you use autopilot, you know, and you get up, walk away, come on back, you know, and sit back down, you know, and look around and do, you know, whatever. But he's like, how do you do it? I'm like, man, I do it. I love it, you know.
It's kind of hard to explain to people.
Yeah.
All right, minimums, continue.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And it's kind of interesting. It's got me high on the glide slope, but the pappies were saying otherwise at this airport. All right, threshold, let's start pulling power. All right, down to idle. Whoa, somebody spawned in right on. Oh,
I love that.
that was perfect timing. And we are on the ground
here.
The wind's changed? No, oh, wait, slight tailwind, yeah. Alright, I tried to get the reversers. I still haven't figured out why that is such a challenge for this plane to go into reversers for me, but that was hilarious timing. That dude spawned in right when I was landing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to land right through him. I can fly over him. Oh, he's gone.
Somebody's watching the stream and loaded in just at the right time. That's what happened. I got trolled.
I'll go for the markers instead now.
Alright, flaps up.
Oh, there you are.
And the GA area is kind of just to our right here, I think.
Good job.
Thank you. Yeah, that landing rate was... The landing rate was negative 97, so considering I had a 320 spawn in my cockpit, I'll take it.
Oh, yeah.
So, Mike, I just took an immediate right and then kind of a 180.
I'm coming right behind you.
Alright.
See what Volanta says for me.
I'm getting blown around on the ground here. Yeah, you also learn in the group, don't ever forget the butter, pancakes, and waffles. Absolutely not. You gotta have the butter, pancake, and waffles.
That's right. So when you you have to completely shut down the aircraft in order for it to count your time flight, right?
I think you just have to have, for the NSIM log, I think you just have to have the engines off or battery off. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Like I'm
I'll
looking for
taxi in
suitable.
around. I got a 738 here, pillow pounder, in between us.
Pillow pounder.
I flew from
Yeah.
Seoul, Korea to Seattle, Washington. I don't know, about 4 days ago, and I sat here all this time, and then when I landed, I couldn't get it to shut down and show my flight hours, so I hit escape and lost everything. It didn't count for nothing.
Well, there's another app called Volanta that'll track all that stuff for you too. It's much better than the NSIM logger. You do have to have it running. I have it running right now on one of my other screens. And it gives you stuff like the landing rate that I mentioned just a second ago, negative 97 feet per minute landing rate. So it's kind of nice for those sorts of things. Another one is Sim Toolkit Pro. It's very similar, basically the same thing. Actually has a little bit more information too, but I've just got a lot of data on Volanta and I just haven't fully committed to the switch. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn our weather radar off or to standby. We'll spin this aircraft around. Mike should be behind us somewhere.
I'm turning left here behind you in a sec.
Flaps are up. We can go ahead and turn our flight director and autopilot off.
Sorry, I got behind this 738.
Oh, you're okay. And we always do a group flight photo here at the end. So, come to a stop. Parking brake is on. What we're going to do is we're going to drop the high idle to a low idle for about a minute. And what we'll see is the ITTs dropping, and they'll stabilize. We can go ahead and start turning off some of our equipment here that we don't necessarily need. So we get our HSI off, autopilot off, and we go ahead and allow the bleed air to depressurized everything. We're at sea level, so it's not a huge deal here. It's already down to sea level inside the cockpit. Bleed off. Landing and taxi lights off. And basically, once you stabilize on the ITT temperatures here, we will bring the prop down. So let's go ahead and bring our prop down for another 15 seconds or so. And once that normally drops a little bit below 600, somewhere around 600, you're pretty good to shut the engine down without causing any harm. So another 5 seconds. And bring the condition lever to cut off. And the engine spools down. I'm hearing... Oh no, I'm still hearing the prop.
So, are you a pilot, like in real life? Is that what you do for a job, or?
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm going to start taking lessons next year. That's
Yeah,
the
I like
plan.
going up the road here and doing the same thing for a private license. I mean, I don't know if there's an age limit for it. You know, I'm getting up there.
For private pilot, there's not really an age limit. Just there's some medical requirements, and we can talk about that here in a minute. But some restrictions that you need to be aware of. Let me go ahead and get this thing shut down real quick, and we'll talk about that here in a minute.
Okay,
Alright, so starter off, ignition to off, nav, strobe lights off, booster pump to off, manual fuel select. We already took care of the environmental control systems, and we can turn the master radio off. Get rid of GSX, cancel out those alarms, and I believe we are good to shut her completely down. So reach up here, ready to grab the crash bar, bring it down. So let's go ahead and hop out. Get a group photo here with Mike real fast. Maybe. For some reason, my drone camera is not drone cameraing very well.
There you go.
It's using the... Oddly enough, normally you don't have control in drone camera, but now my plane has full control while in drone camera. Let's see here. Let's go to camera. Maybe we can reset the position and that'll fix this. Nope, we still have control. That's interesting. I've never had that happen before. Huh.
I fly the Beechcraft, the hair. How you say it? The hair. DAH.
Dire.
Dire. Yeah. It's pretty fun plane to fly for me anyway.
Yep.
It's it acts the same way as this plane here did.
Alright, Mike, you may have to be in charge of the group photos tonight, because I am really struggling to get this to do anything like it should. But I'll be right back. Alright guys, I appreciate the views and the flights, or the flight with us. I hope everybody has a good night, and we will catch you all next time. Going from top to bottom of New Zealand is 5 hours in a Cessna 208. Oh, that would be a pretty fun flight. It'd be a long stream. I may have to get the caravan from Black Square if we're going to do that, though. I actually really like the looks of the caravan. I just haven't bought the Black Square yet, just because it's pretty much the same plane we already have, so I'm having... Although the instrumentation is pretty much the same. Diesel said, great, have a great night. Mike, welcome to the best MSFS community. See you. I appreciate the kind words, Diesel. You were probably already gone, but maybe you'll see us later. With that, guys, have a good night and happy